Hey, so this is Christy Mattoon from Mind Rewire. Thank you for being here. And I want to thank everybody for their condolences from one of my most recent videos about my mother's passing. I truly, truly appreciate all the blessings and love that was sent. You guys are amazing. On another level, we're going to talk about something a little bit serious today because there's a lot of stuff going on this planet right now. There is a lot of things going on that are being overlooked by some, being lied about by others. And on both sides of the spectrum, things are just wonky and weird. There are people who, flat out choose to ignore it and stay in their heart space, which is amazing and cool. And it'll rise them to a different level. And I've seen that happen for people because they did do that and they haven't paid any attention to this other stuff. The unfortunate part is I can't do that because I am called to service for people and through spirit and through God. And my abilities to channel information and to talk about things and to not live in fear have taken me here to a place where it's time that I have to say something about some of this stuff. Because it is so dualistic. It is totally the nature of this plane of reality, which makes me smile because that's where we live, right? In the dualistic nature of the good old planet Earth. And in this 3D reality, we see this huge division that has settled over the world, and governments fighting their own people, which isn't the first time this has happened. Right? This has happened all throughout civilization, all throughout history. And starting way, way back, with the Essenes and with religious groups. I don't want to use the word religious with religious, spiritual groups, whatever you want to call them, that were snuffed out of existence because of their beliefs and because the empires that were at large, the empires that were in control, if their word and message had got out about how powerful they were as people, right? And people meaning you, people meaning your own spirit, right? Your own power within you. So they snuff that out and they hide it and they keep things concealed and information locked up. So we can't have that information, and we know that, right? It's a game of trying to find the information that triggers your spirit and gets you out of this locked in reality. So in all of that, I was shown an article this morning, and now I'm writing a little piece on it. And it was basically about Sidney Powell claiming that Trump can simply be reinstated, which causes concern for some and joy for others. Dualistic nature of the plane of reality we live in. I find it kind of amusing. Apparently, she told Biden to leave the White House when people who have been watching the White House know that there's nobody in the White House, right? I don't know how stupid one side thinks the other side is, but it's interesting when you have been watching this stuff and you see what's going on, because there are people in DC making daily videos of the White House and comings and goings, and it's been very clear what's going on there. So that part's really interesting too. So staying with the dualistic nature of the plane of existence we live in, you have to start looking at that kind of stuff and understanding, right? That is just what it is. But both sides are calling each other liars, right? The truth is so foggy. It's hard for most of us to discern. It's hard for most people to discern. The clear field of reality is that the USA as a free country is deteriorating really rapidly. And if you've got open eyes, you can see this. The constitutional rights are being hammered. Your basic freedoms are being revoked. The people's voice is being silenced by corporations and social media platforms, all in the name of our own health and well-being, right? Supposedly, like you can't take care of yourself. And it's funny because before we all had computers and phones and all of these fancy little gadgets, people used to live off the land. They used to live, right, with their neighbor, a couple miles away, but they helped each other out. Now your neighbor right next door, a couple feet from you, you don't even know who is. So, just think about these sorts of things. I think it's a very confusing scene for some. It's also very interesting, the events that are unfolding, for those who see through it, right? For those who are watching both sides, because there's two sides to every story. There isn't just one side, ever one side. And so if you're watching both sides and you're like, this is what the left is saying, here's what the right's saying, here's the evidence that they have, which just kind of goes in circles. Here's evidence pointing to, well, this is kind of true, what's going on with people having issues with jabs. And then social media won't allow you to post it, right? Especially if it's you that's had the jab and now you've got an issue. It came out the other day, somebody leaked some information out of Facebook, I think it was, that they're scrubbing that information so people can't say, hey, I was injured by this thing. You can't even tell your own story. Isn't that what Facebook's for? So, I mean, it's just all the different stuff you have to think about and just look at, trying to discern the truth of actually what's going on. I think people who want real answers years ago had already started leaving the platforms of the MSM. You know, we already started turning off the TVs. We quit watching the news, and for other reasons. Most people are saying just because it was so negative, it was just hard to watch, right? But now it's taken a turn because they are directly echoing the voice of whoever's in charge of this. And I call it, I mean, I've heard other people say these words, the dismantling of America. And it's not just America, it's the whole world, right? Everything is just being dismantled and taken apart. And it's an interesting period of time when you recognize that, I mean, this is the golden age, right? Dualistic weirdness. It's the golden age. This dismantling has to happen in order for a resurgence, right? For the power to kick back in, for you to recognize who you truly are. It does. It has to happen. I think the article that I was reading, it was actually from Newsweek.com. It's pretty typical. It's pretty typical of the stuff that they're putting out. It's meant to spark discontent amongst everybody, right? Left wing, right wing, no matter how you look at it. People who are riding the fence, not really sure what's going on, but you know this isn't right. You know it's not helpful. Right, the stuff of the current administration that we see supposedly in front of us. I don't know how else to say that without getting in too much trouble. It's like watching a crazy, weird movie, right? And if you blink your eyes a few times, it doesn't go away. You're still sitting here going, what on earth is happening? So the aim of Mind Rewire, the aim of what I do in Heart Coherence is first and foremost to provide listeners, provide content that you might not get otherwise on a spiritual end, right? And it's for a lot of people, and I've heard this from quite a few people, it's pretty basic information. It's startup information that if you've been struggling in the circle of, you know, getting on your journey or your spiritual growth, it's really helpful. Christian, non-Christian, like whatever religious background you came from, this stuff really helps because it points you back into your heart and back towards your spirit where you can get into direct communication, right? With God, with the Holy Spirit, with however you term this kind of stuff, with your angels, right? With your team, with your guides. And I think that's probably the best work, right? That's the best thing we can be doing, right? So truth, where does truth come from? If it's not measurable and it's not discernible, it's probably not truth. How do you discern spiritual truth? You discern spiritual truth by the effect that whatever you're doing is produced in your life. That's how you discern spiritual truth. Did it have an effect in my life? Did something alter? Did something change? Did my outlook on whatever, right? Like with my mother the other day, right? Because of some spiritual work and some spiritual guidance from a beloved person, from a beloved friend, a benevolent, beautiful person who is here on the planet, by the way, my whole outlook changed almost in the blink of an eye, right? In the twinkling of an eye. Crazy, right? But I think that's where truth lies. Truth lies in you. It doesn't lie out here in all the craziness that's going on. There's some truth there too. And in writing this thing, one of the things that I've heard other people say something to this effect, that the best lies come from a place in truth. When truth is revealed, then and only then will people have the ability to make informed choices. You can't make an informed choice right now because truth is very foggy. Truth is not, I don't know, truth isn't what it's supposed to be. Right now, in this period, and probably for a long time it hasn't been, right? Where people are always trying to discern, and you have to have ability to discern these things. So I just wanted to put that out to you. So the people who are trying to totally ignore what's going on in the world, you're fine. Man, you are fine. Go do your thing, right? Sit in a cave and meditate so highly in love. Send that frequency out that you help change this whole thing, because you will. All right. Those of you who are in the battlefield, I bless you. Go do your thing. Because those of you who are in the battlefield not only are sending out that vibration of love, you're walking with sword in hand, which can be your spoken word, right? It can be the truth coming from inside you. It can be the knowledge that you're helping put out into the world so other people can alter their own realities on a personal level. It can be truly with a sword in your hand, right? Today is Memorial Day, and I bless the fallen soldiers and all the soldiers who still stand in the field and are fighting for us. Yes? So, no matter what it is you choose to do, however you choose to handle yourself through this period of time, heart coherent attitudes perpetuate love. Heart coherent practices perpetuate goodness, not only in your life, but in the people around you. No matter what's going on, the only way to get to a place of true peace is through your heart. It's not to go out and go into the struggle and then try and create peace in the struggle. It won't work. It will never work. The only way you can find true peace is to be inside your heart. Does it make sense? That's where your spirit is. That's where the attributes of God are. That's where the attributes, right, of your spirit is. The attributes, right? Peace, love, joy, happiness, contentment, satisfaction. All right? Inside your heart space. It's where heaven is, right? There's all kinds of words written on this stuff. Ancient writings. I'm not making this stuff up. I just know how to tap into it and use it relatively well sometimes. Most of the time, I should say. So I want you to take up your practice, no matter what it is, whether it's heart coherence, meditation, yoga, I don't know, whatever it is. Take up your practice and make it such a consistent daily thing. Even the affirmations. We are in a different period of time and things are working differently than they used to. The people who are sitting back and just watching and totally saying, no, this is all good. I'll do another video on that. That's a whole nother topic. I don't think this is all good. I think God can clearly use anything for good. I think the power of the people when they come together can, with enough voltage of love amping out there, can alter any situation. But there's a lot of darkness on this planet right now. And it is spewing a lot of information into the minds of a lot of people that are not discerning the information well, okay? And I think we're going to see the fallout from it probably sooner than later. If you are in your heart space and you're standing in your truth, in the truth, I don't want to say in your truth. It's not your truth, it's the truth. It's the consciousness, right? It's the truth of love. It's the truth of peace. It's the truth of spirit. It's the truth of what ancient texts and scriptures have been screaming all along. And we're finding new meaning in a lot of those things in this period of time, right? The words are opening up and giving us different value, which is crazy cool, crazy cool. But you have to have a mind to hear it. You have to have a mind to see it, right? Are you open to hear? Are you open to see? Are you willing? And the seeing is through your heart. It's through a different space in your mind, not your brain. Does it make sense? You have to activate the stuff, the physical stuff in the brain for the mind to truly do its biggest potential job, right? And the connection between all of this in your system is just an amazing factor. Anyway, okay. Preach on, sister. Yeah, I just want to bless everybody who's watching this. And, you know, there really hasn't been a whole ton of backlash that's been seen in the public as of yet. And it exists, the reality that when that backlash starts, it's going to look horrific. If you stay in your heart place, you're going to be better prepared to handle it no matter what shows up at your door. Right? Does that make sense? All right. I want to bless you. I'm going to keep throwing this kind of stuff out there. I will start giving you ideas and ways to help counter some of the negativity that's flying around for those of you that are caught up in it. And the lies, right? Dispelling the lies. How do you dispel the lies? And some people will just have their point there and they'll hammer and hammer and hammer. I just go into my heart. You know what? Let me tell you this right now. One of the biggest ways I discern everything is I hear it, I listen to it, I hang out with it for a minute, I pull it into my heart space, and I run it through my heart, and I ask my spirit, is this worthy of listening to? And I hear a yes or a no, right? Is it all true? I ask, is it all true? Right, I'll give a percentage usually, right? Is it 50% true? Is it 75% true? Like truth, not your truth, not my truth. Consciousness truth, right? Big truth. Is this stuff perpetuating goodness in the planet, right? What is the will of God? That you be healthy, that you be whole, that you be prosperous. How many of us are those things? In totality, how many of us are those things? Why? Because of the stuff that goes on this planet. It's because of things that man has perpetuated and tried to take over. All right, I got back on my soapbox. So go into your heart space and ask. Just sit there and start doing that consistently. Everything you do, ask. Should I listen to this? Is there any truth in this? What can I take from this? How can I utilize this to put goodness in my life? That's a good question. All right. In the meantime, I bless you. I hope this helps. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and share. I always forget to say that at the front. I got really good at it for a while, and I forgot to keep doing it. But please like, subscribe, and share. If this helped you, it'll probably help somebody else. And we'll be talking to you soon. Check below for my new course that's starting soon. It's heart coherence, so we're going to do a lot of heart coherence work in the upfront, and then we're going to go straight into the 7 laws of the universe and dissect them and learn how to take them through our heart and see what happens. All right, I bless you.